Hedge Nordic, your single access point to the Nordic hedge fund industry.
How do you describe Symmetry Invest to those who don't yet know you and your fund?
Yeah, so Symmetry Invest is a Denmark-based long-short fund. We have a global mandate, but invest primarily in developed markets, so Scandinavia, rest of Europe, and the US. We're a long-short fund with a long bias of between 60-80% net exposure all the time. And today, yeah, we are 2 employees, invest mostly in small and mid caps, and run a concentrated portfolio with the good returns.
Can you now describe your investment approach in more detail? How do you invest?
Yeah, so we focus mostly of what I would call like concentrated, like long-term compounder. So this is normally like small caps. It's more, founder-led companies. It's like someone that has like a small niche that is expanding and where we can kind of get an edge over the market. And most of the companies, I would say, have none or quite few analyst coverage.
And your strategy is focused on founder-led companies, as you're saying. What is the rationale behind this focus?
So there's actually 2 main reasons for this. One is like all the statistics that has analyzed to say that you actually get the best returns from investing in this segment. And the other thing is something I have come to appreciate a lot is like I just have more fun doing this way. Like I work 60, 80, sometimes 100 hours a week. Like on this is like a 24 hours a day job. So I want to do something that I'm having quite fun while doing. And if I have to stay up late at night, I need to have fun doing it. So like interacting with those founders that have a real passion for the industry, that is like small niche market leaders, is just what I love to do. So I definitely think it's much better to make good returns if you do something you like.
Yeah, and the founders are known for being long-term oriented. They're known for being good capital allocators. Is that part important to you?
Yeah, so I think there's 2 things in capital allocation. One thing is the more optic thing, like should we do buybacks or dividends or reinvestment or M&A. But one thing I've really come to appreciate is management teams that is really, really good at capital allocation within the company. We spend a lot more time finding management teams that is really, really good at those internal capital allocation parts, because it's easier to understand should we do buyback or M&A or yeah.
And at any given point in time, how many long and short positions do you usually hold in the portfolio?
So on the long side, we normally hold between 12 and 18 now, and Henrik have between 4 and 5, and I manage between 10 and 15 stocks.
And on the short side?
Yeah, that is normally depending on the opportunity set. So it's more like, do I find ideas? But I would say between 15 and up to 40. Not as concentrated.
And looking at the long portfolio, what are the main characteristics or features that you want to see in those companies in the long book?
So we go for what I've called small market leaders in an expanding niche. And sometimes people like say to me like, why can you invest in small cap companies and find market leaders? Like market leaders is normally big, but we have actually been able to find a lot of companies that is really market leader in a small niche. So Naked Wines is 500 million pounds market leader in DTC wine in the US. Where Food comes from, 80 million US dollar market cap market leader in food verification US. Indoor, 200 million euro market cap market leader in simulated racing equipment all over the world. So there's a lot of like those small companies that is actually leaders in their own niche.
Yeah. You also mentioned that the short book depends on the opportunity set.
Yeah.
Does the net market exposure also depend on the opportunity set that you find?
Yeah. So it's like, bottom doing up that approach. So it's normally it fluctuates between 60 and 80. But I think our investment mandate can have it fluctuate between 40 and 120. Mm-hmm. So we have quite a big room, but normally I would say it's between 60 and 80. Yeah.
But how would you summarize your 2020 journey?
Yeah, so I will say, you could call it a tale of 2 worlds. Like we were definitely disappointed with our drawdown in March. So, in retrospect, we did all the right things from a stock selection perspective. We found the right stocks, we bought more of them, and we earned a lot of money on that on the back end of the year. But I would still say on the kind of risk management perspective, I think I should and have done a little better kind of on the hedging side, and that's something we have improved a lot, I would say, this year.
How do you go about selecting short positions for the fund?
So the short side is so the lead generation is a little more automated. So we have a lot of like data tools and some internal developed systematic approach where we get like a lot of leads, and then I do like the due diligence manually on based on those leads to decide what to short. But some of it is also more event driven, like we forecast an earnings missed or sort of arbitrage, and there could be different opportunities there. So it's a shorter time period, like six to 9 months holding period on the short side.
Yeah. And do you believe your accounting experience and background makes you a better investor?
Yeah, for sure. It definitely makes me understand how numbers work, and not just reading the top line or the balance sheet, but really understand unit economics within a company. So incremental returns on investment. How even a loss-making company can be a really good company if they get internal returns, and all those kind of moving parts within a company. I think it's really good to understand from my accounting background. Yeah. Also on the short side, I have easy to spot red flags there.
Mm-hmm. What do investors expect from you or from the fund in terms of returns going forward?
Yeah, so since inception, like 8 years, I think it was around 23% CAGR, so really good. But we hope around 15 that is our goal, and we think that's we think it's achievable, but still it requires hard work from our side. But that's definitely something I will target for, and then I will hope I can do it with less correlation and less drawdowns compared to the market, but still with volatility.
Yeah, and Henrik came on board last year. How has your own approach to investing, where your process has changed, and how has Symmetry changed overall?
Yeah, so you can just look at our returns since he started in August. So he definitely made a good contribution there. But yeah, he's doing really well, and the big part is there's two reasons there. One is I can become more concentrated because he takes 5 positions himself. I can concentrate in 10 instead of 20. So that makes me concentrate more on my best ideas and spend more time on those. And then of course it's just better to kind of interact with someone that is also a smart investor and kind of be able to share ideas and spot red flags, etc.
Hedge Nordic, your single access point to the Nordic hedge fund industry.